What's up, y'all? It's your boy Kev on stage, and we're doing this My Take thing, me, Jay, and Nate Jackson, where we talk about the same subject in 3 different points of view. All right, so today's thing is a little more serious. I've talked to you guys before. Most of the videos on this channel are going to be funny, but every once in a while, I want you to think. We can laugh, we can think, we can cry together. All right, so this story is off in the Huffington Post by the author's name is Isa Life, and the title is "Kicking Black Boys Out of Class, Teaching Black Girls a Lesson." I highly recommend you read the article so we can have a good discussion about it, so we have all the same information. But the most important facts of the article is that in Oakland, California, the Oakland Unified School District, black boys make up 43% of the suspensions district-wide, while only making up 17% of the district population. So those numbers, as soon as I heard them, it reminded me of prison numbers, how black people are a high percentage of prison inmates while not being that big a percentage of the population. So he's saying that black boys are getting suspended disproportionately, you know, to all other races and genders. So of all the people in the school, black boys are getting suspended more than anybody else. And his point was that what black girls are learning from watching this is that black men and boys are naturally monsters. They are untrustworthy, irresponsible, and have no self-control. Black men and boys are undesirable, unreliable, and most obviously you should have a low expectation of them or for them. He says the little black girl will grow up with 3 options regarding her attitude about being in relationships with black men. Number 1, she will struggle to unlearn the foul sentiment she is given about black boys and men. Number 2, to accept the notion that black boys and men are naturally monsters who are untrustworthy, irresponsible, and have no self-control. This doesn't mean she won't be with black men. It just means she will see unacceptable and or abusive behavior from her black male partner as normal. And number 3, she will date and marry men outside of her race. Now, the number 2 point was the most kind of crazy to me. These black girls will see this behavior as normal, right? So we have, I've always wondered, like, I have some homegirls whose, boyfriends or husbands just get, in trouble with the law a lot, arrested, for whatever reason, and the women don't leave. And I could never figure out how they stay, because I know my wife, if I were to get in trouble with the law, she probably wouldn't be with me. Like, if I got in trouble when we were dating and I was engaged to her, she just wouldn't do it. She would have been like, yeah, we can't do this. But a lot of women feel differently. They are ride or die. They stay with their man, like, across the nation. And it never occurred to me that maybe that's what they think is normal. Now, the article also says that, an unfortunate majority of these families in Oakland, black boys and girls, are coming from no father in the household scenarios. So they're seeing, this is the only, black male they see. They don't see their dad. The boys they see are always getting in trouble now. And essentially the trouble just goes from getting kicked out of class by the authority figure being the teacher and the principal, to getting arrested. So the black girls, this is what they expect. If I'm going to be with a black man, this is what I'm going to expect him to be. That part is pretty frightening to me, because I guess it makes sense. I was watching a documentary on Floyd Mayweather last night, and he said, I've been rich for 20 years. A Rolls Royce is normal to me. Like, my kids don't know anything else but Rolls Royce, Bentleys, Porsches, and this lifestyle. This is normal. And that's really interesting, because normal is what you make it. Me and my brother grew up really poor, but we didn't know it because everybody else around us was really poor. We didn't see any rich people, so normal was poor. Like, everybody didn't have nothing. Christmas was one toy, if that. And if you didn't get nothing, you didn't trip, because you didn't know anybody who got a whole bunch of toys, right? So what these little girls are seeing is their day-to-day thing. They're always seeing people get in trouble with the law, so they're expecting that from their for their boyfriends and men. It's really unfortunate, because he went on to say that black men, are going to be, black women are going to be hiring them, and this is what they're going to expect. So my take kind of is, as a father, like, I don't set out to be this great father. Like, I hear that a lot. You're such a great father and blah, blah, blah. And it makes me almost cringe, because I feel like I'm not doing anything special, right? I'm just taking care of the kids that I had. But since our society, we don't see that so much, the ordinary has become extraordinary. Like, to see a black man married to a black woman with 2 kids by the same woman that live in his home is abnormal now. Like the school that Zay went to in Washington, hardly anybody was married. Hardly any of them knew their dad, or their dad was in the picture. Like, that is the normal. He was the weird kid who had both parents. And this is so weird to me. So it kind of, my kind of take on it is kind of gives me like even more. I feel like I've got to do a better job with my kids, because this is what they're fighting against, right? And I don't think this, at least this suspension thing, goes forth, nationwide. I hope it doesn't. But it is quite unfortunate, because when I think back to Zay's school in Washington, where there was only like 4 or 5 black kids, 3 of them were troublemakers. And I don't know, it just really makes me feel bad. And like, I've got to teach my boys more what to expect. And I kind of think the reason my wife expects this relationship from me, while she'll accept nothing less, is because she grew up with a 2-parent home. Her dad was there every day, taking care of her, her and her sisters, going to work, not getting in trouble, all that stuff. So she, seeing somebody get, in trouble all the time, she's like, man, my daddy, I'm not trying to do all that. Like a comedian once said, the easiest women to get are ones who come from, places where they don't have no dad, because the ones with 2-parent households, they have higher standards. Their daddy ain't having that, any old thing. So they're, they're harder to deal with. And it was sad, but it was kind of funny and true, because a lot of the girls are like, man, it is right. If you think about it. So I don't know. What's you guys' take? Nate Jackson's take is at the bottom, and we'll take a look at that. And subscribe to both Nate Jackson and Jason Fredericks, because we're all going to be doing takes. All right? Promise. Next video is going to be funny.
What's up, everybody? It's Kev on stage. Go and subscribe to my YouTube page. And don't you be bitter. Just follow me on Twitter.